When it comes to seasonal allergies, we not only know when they show up, spring obviously is one of the worst times, but also fall and just really any time there's these seasonal shifts, which depending upon where you live could be pretty much all the time. But we know what comes with them, the constant coughing, itchy eyes, congestion, irritation, and then drowsiness and irritability that comes not only from feeling like crap all the time and not being able to go outside and experience the good weather and have fun, especially if you're a kiddo, which is where you're meant to be, outside in nature, playing and being healthy, not congested, not sneezing, not red, itchy eyes. But then if you try the medications, whether over the counter or even conventional prescription medications, those lead to tons of irritability. Those lead to tons of drowsiness. And did you know that one of the number one side effects of allergy medications like Singulair and Claritin and so forth are hyperactivity, anxiety, and behavior issues? And we already have enough sensory stressed, overstressed kiddos who have enough of those challenges without the seasonal allergies and the side effects of the medications. It is said in research that up to 1 in 5 kids has seasonal allergies. But I think if you look around when we have these seasonal shifts, you'd see that the majority of kids today have the bags under their eyes. They're constantly sick, congested, and struggling. And it's been normalized. Honestly, like so many chronic conditions in kids and families, seasonal allergies and autoimmune conditions, strep, all these other sort of challenges. Oh, that's normal. It just happens. There's nothing you can do about it. The pollen counts are high. This is high. And we're told to basically live in fear of going outside. And that is the opposite of normal. It may be common nowadays, but it is certainly not normal. So what we want to do with this video is we want to break down the science of what's really root cause causing seasonal allergies. And it's going to go beyond just genetics and bad luck. It's going to go beyond what's outside. It's going to go beyond toxins. And it's going to go even a little bit beyond what's called the microbiome, the gut immune and gut brain connection, which maybe I know many of you holistic natural rockstar moms and dads have already learned about. We're going to go to the deepest layer of root cause dysfunction within the body that will actually trigger allergies to become much more common, so more kids to have them, and much more severe. And that's something called nervous system dysregulation. Let's dig in. All right, so one of the things I really want to break down is not just does the conventional medical approach really entirely miss every layer of root cause of seasonal allergies, and they just try and stuff them down with medications, whether again, over-the-counter prescription injections or both or all three, but they actually strongly, significantly are contributing to the reasons why so many kids have seasonal allergies and autoimmune conditions, including asthma. It's because of the overuse of antibiotics and other nebulizer steroid-based medications when kids are little. See, we have a big problem in pretty much every developed country with a developed healthcare system. Sorry, I got a finger quoted, but it's a sick care system. And we now know that the more times, especially a child under the age of 12 to 24 months, that every single time they are put on even just one round of antibiotics, it greatly increases their risk of seasonal allergies and autoimmune challenges later on. Anything that is an inflammatory-based condition is really connected to the overuse and the misuse of antibiotics and other medications. And what's happening is it's likely that a kiddo who is sick and needs to is kind of a relative term, but we'll stay on it for now, needs to get antibiotics and needs to get steroid-based medications when they're little. It's a sign that their nervous system, their immune system, and their digestive system, so we'll just lump them all together. We'll call it the neuro-gastro-immune system because they all three work together. If that system is compromised, dysfunctional, that allows a kiddo to get an ear infection, sinus infection, RSV, croup, or some sort of respiratory illness in the first place. So once a child gets sick, especially if it's at the degree where interventions like medications, nebulizers, steroid meds may be needed, well, there's already a sign of dysfunction within the neuro-gastro-immune system. Now, when we put antibiotics and steroid-based medications, it actually does the job for the body and it disrupts any sort of balance that was already in the gut and any sort of optimal natural function that was already within the immune system, because that's what medications do. They come in and they mess things up. And so what's happening is we have this double layer of what we kind of call the perfect storm that is really the root cause behind seasonal allergies. And it's the nervous system part of this that even a lot of times natural holistic families miss out on when they're really looking for drug-free solutions to help their kiddos struggle way less with seasonal allergies and chronic congestion and all the other stuff that comes with them. And so the last layer of this is really that. There's something called subluxation. Now, subluxation is a term you maybe never heard before, but subluxation means that there's dysfunction within the nervous system, particularly what's called the neurospinal system. So where the brain, body, immune system, digestive system, really air traffic control and the connection and communication superhighway between all that. And when that subluxation gets set up shop, it leads to a multitude of different challenges within the body that can contribute to allergies, congestion, irritation, pro-inflammatory state. And so this one thing, subluxation, can actually come from high-stress pregnancies, birth trauma, especially vacuum, forceps, C-section kiddos, induction kiddos. They have a much higher incidence of allergies because it sets in place this subluxation. It sets in place this dysfunction with the nervous system, then the immune system, then the digestive system, and then the respiratory system as well, if we kind of put the respiratory and immune systems together. So what this subluxation does is it leaves the body unable to do three very important things when it comes to the immune system dysfunction. Number one, it limits plumbing or drainage. So the ears, the sinuses, the lungs, the lymphatics, when subluxation is in there, it creates tension, it creates tightness, it creates constriction or restriction, which limits what we like to call the plumbing or the drainage of the ear, nose, throat, lungs, and so forth. So the longer that this crud, mucus, and all that, because when we go outside and we're exposed to pollen and dander and all the different things and dust and the trees and all the flowers, that stuff gets in, it's foreign particles, our body knows it's there, traps it within the mucus or the respiratory membranes of the airway and the respiratory system. And as long as there is what's called motility within that respiratory system, it moves that stuff through the body. Subluxation gets in the way of that motility. That is supposed to move it into the gut. So the second thing subluxation does is it messes up gut motility. So first, it's bad plumbing, ear, nose, throat, just that constant, I can't get it out. Your kid's coughing all the time, but they can't ever get through it. That's the first layer. The second layer that subluxation messes with is digestive motility. So we just can't get things through the gut, the stomach, the intestines, which is where the bad guys are supposed to be killed off and, removed in the porcelain exit valve. And the third thing that subluxation does is subluxation leads to what's called sympathetic dominance, which is leaving the nervous system in this sensory sympathetic overdrive, which actually leaves it in a hypersensitive pro-inflammatory state. So it's going to overreact to normal things like pollen, like dust, like flowers, like grass. And this is the same for food-based allergies as well. We're just really focused on kind of the environmental seasonal allergy conversation with this one. So last thing, before we switch off and really give you the solutions as to how to really find out if this is your kiddo and what's going on, I want you to look at this neurothermal scan that we run in our office, and you will see a very common what we call seasonal allergies subluxation presentation. So where these red bars are right here at this C2, C3, C4, that's the parts of the neurospinal system that really control key functions of the physiological system, or just perfectly said, of the body. And when that subluxation is there, it sets up dysfunction, okay? And that dysfunction of C2, C3, C4, subluxation there, messes first and foremost, it'll trigger a sympathetic response increase. So the entire nervous system, when subluxated in this region, goes into that hyperactive sensory overdrive. Second thing, it will decrease the draining and the plumbing of the sinuses, the ENT system, the back of the throat, the lymphatics all run down the neck. And so it decreases plumbing and it messes with our sinuses and our respiratory system. And the third thing it does is it really decreases what's called sensory or kind of neuroimmune communication, and connection. So there's a nucleus up here in that portion of the spine and nervous system, which is exactly where the nervous system communicates with the immune system, in particularly regarding inflammation. And so when that subluxation sets up shop in that part of the neck and nervous system, like it did for that kiddo who no longer is struggling with seasonal allergies, that was their first scan when they started care with us. They are now not only seasonal allergy free and symptom free, but they are most importantly medication free, because that kiddo was on so many rounds of antibiotics and so many rounds of steroid based medications and so many different allergy shots and everything. And the kiddo was constantly exhausted and irritable all the time because of that subluxation, plus the neurological dysfunction and medication will cause that too. Behavior issues, emotional dysregulation, focus challenges. And that's where that kiddo was before he found neurologically focused chiropractic care. And we got this all taken care of by making adjustments to get that subluxation, nervous system dysfunction out of the way. And when you clear out that constriction, congestion, subluxation, dysfunction, guess what happens? The body gets better naturally, neurologically on its own. The plumbing and the drainage is better. The motility of the neuro, respiratory, gut, immune system is better. The nervous system is less hypersensitive and less inflammatory and ticked off all the time. And it can just regulate every function of the body, including the immune system, so much more optimally and so much more ideally. So it's not chiropractic curing seasonal allergies. It's not nutrition and cleaning up our lifestyle that clears up gut and immune challenges. It's putting all these things together so that the body can work better from the inside out on its own. And your kiddo absolutely positively can heal fully from seasonal allergies, no matter how many years, no matter how many times every spring they have them, no matter how many severe they are, no matter what level of medications, inhalers, injections. We've seen it all in our practice and with the pxdocs network, and we have seen kids heal naturally and neurologically with the support of nervous system focused chiropractic to get the body working better. If you want more information on exactly how this works, how you can get connected to this kind of care, just comment below, follow the directions in the copy, check out our link in our bio, or send us a DM, and we will get you and your child back outside enjoying spring and living life like it's meant to be once again, not worried about pollen counts or dust or dander or grass or all the things that so often limit the full quality of life for kids and families struggling with seasonal allergies. God bless. See you on the next one.